On the other side of the world, in the local news, a 15-year-old girl in Oklahoma is in intensive care after downing Benadryl as part of a viral TikTok challenge, a dangerous, predatory trend from the Chinese app that is re-emerging. Leah Presson participated in TikTok's Benadryl challenge, which encourages teenagers to film themselves downing toxic amounts of the over-the-counter allergy medication. The goal is to induce hallucinations and delirium that would also be filmed for so-called entertainment. But after drinking the liquid Benadryl, Leah experienced seizures, and then she went into cardiac arrest. And now, after multiple tests at the hospital, she was found to have no brain activity. She remains in the intensive care unit at Integris Health Baptist Medical Center in Oklahoma City. Leah's father, Richard Presson, initially believed that his daughter's seizures were from her history of asthma, but he admitted that she had participated in the dangerous trend of TikTok challenges before. He told KFOR, "I don't even want to think about a funeral because I feel like there's still hope and everybody's like giving up too soon. I believe in miracles, that she's definitely a miracle baby." For the record, even though it is available over the counter, an overdose of Benadryl can be fatal or cause severe side effects. You should know that Leah is not the first kid from Oklahoma to end this challenge with a devastating consequence. Earlier this year, 11-year-old Molly Miller died from an overdose that was linked to the Benadryl challenge on TikTok. 3 Connecticut children also died from Benadryl overdoses just in the past few months, all of which was reported by the Daily Wire at the time. After the deaths of the 3 children in Connecticut, the Connecticut Office of the Child Advocate officially warned parents that this medicine is potentially dangerous to children of all ages, saying, "We strongly encourage parents to store all medications safely to ensure they are not easily accessible to children. We also want parents to know that resources are available if their children are experiencing mental health needs." Meaning if TikTok has made them mentally ill in ways that they would never have come up with on their own. Hey, I'm sorry, the truth hurts. You want TikTok for yourself, even though it's not healthy for you either, to be blunt about it. And you also apparently don't want to keep the kids off of it, even though it's a propaganda machine for a lot of harmful things. Kids are dying or having their lives irrevocably harmed, and you are willing to accept that. That's the honest reality here. You can stand by that and say, there's always casualties in everything. Okay. But I'm not going to sugarcoat the reality. That is the reality. Meanwhile, the FDA also issued a statement back during the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, when this challenge first emerged, as kids began living completely online with mentally ill influences, warning the public about the dangers of overdosing on Benadryl and informing parents and healthcare professionals, saying, "We are aware of news reports of teenagers ending up in emergency rooms or dying after participating in the Benadryl challenge, encouraged in videos posted on the social media application TikTok." Just for reference, this trend has gotten to be so bad that now any searches for the Benadryl challenge, or just for Benadryl on TikTok, lead straight to a drug and alcohol warning. Meanwhile, Leah's poor father said, as he sits with his brain-dead adolescent, that "I just want everybody to be aware of where they can educate their kids. But these challenges are just silly. and they need to be educated so it doesn't happen again. I'm sorry, sir. I feel sympathy for you. But education is not going to fix this. These challenges are not silly. They are a result of a mentally ill internet culture, one that children are especially susceptible to. You cannot educate someone out of mental illness, especially when all of the people around them are engaging in it. Either society decides to stop glorifying mental illness, and therefore incentivizing it, or individual parents decide to at least shield their kids from it. But education is not going to fix this. It's just not. It's important to be honest about what will help and what won't. Kids' brains are not fully developed until 25 or 26 years old. You can tell them the consequences of something, but the part of their brain that can factor those consequences in to the appropriate degree that they merit is just not developed yet. That is the hard science here. But that was obviously not the only disturbing trend on social media. A new one is all about the young people publicly celebrating the violent murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. As we speak, young people are busy dancing with knives in stabbing gestures to a song that they've dubbed the Austin Bop. As we and everyone else by this point has covered, Austin Metcalf was fatally stabbed by Carmelo Anthony at a track meet in 2025 for no better reason than because he was repeatedly asked to leave the opposing team's tent. The video and the 911 calls are available to be seen at this point. This latest mentally ill trend, unsurprisingly, appears to be racially driven, with some young black people mocking Austin after his killer was rightly convicted for taking his life. And they're encouraging other people to be as mentally ill as them. Disgusting new TikTok trend called the Austin Bop has exploded among young black Carmelo Anthony supporters, the ex-user I'm Mean Zero posted online, captioning a video of this trend. They gleefully dance with and without knives while making repeated thrusting and stabbing motions towards the chest in a brazen mockery of a teenage boy's brutal murder in their videos. This isn't edgy content. This is straight up demonic celebration of violence. Thug culture remains one of the most toxic, self-destructive forces rotting the black community from within. It glorifies murder, mocks victims, and turns human tragedy into dance challenges. Despite the race-baiting narrative that has been shamelessly peddled by the Anthony family, the teenage witnesses to the stabbing, a large portion of whom were black, said that Carmelo Anthony was the one in the wrong, instigating the entire thing down to the lethal stabbing, while these same black boys described Austin as a leader and a brother, not a racist. Even a defense witness said that this was all Anthony. But support for the convicted murderer is not isolated to online teenagers with underdeveloped brains. Last week, the official representative of people with underdeveloped brains, that would be the Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas, downplayed the violent murder of Austin on the basis that the 5-inch blade that was used to kill him was a small object, in her arbitrary opinion. And because it was small, that meant that it did not qualify as a deadly weapon, despite the fact that it was a weapon that not only could cause death, it literally did, making it definitionally a deadly weapon, sweetheart. But this is the level of stupidity that she regularly, proudly exhibits for the country, as though it is genius. She also publicly claimed that the Metcalf family, whose baby is in a coffin as we speak, doesn't understand the fear and agony of black women like her, who sit in Congress and have never buried a child, declaring, we're going to have just some real conversations about race in this country. Yes, we are, but not in the way you mean. We've been having that conversation for the last decade and a half, as race relations have plummeted from both 70% of black people and 70% of white people rating race relations as good or very good, to now 70% in both groups rating them as bad, thanks to people like you. Facts don't care about your feelings, Jasmine. And the facts are that your race-based approach to society is making everything measurably worse, to such a degree that it is not even up for debate anymore. But unfortunately, she was not alone in setting the bad example of ignorance is entertainment for the kids. Several other Democrats deemed the trial to be unfair, although they couldn't say how, apart from the fact that a black boy was held responsible for his actions as though his skin pigment had nothing to do with it at all. One of these destructive examples included Crockett's fellow Texas representative, Christian Menifee, who said that situation was a travesty and complained that the minorities that were on the jury were not black, even though they were people of color and made up a quarter of the actual jury that convicted him and a third of the jury pool. And even though he isn't intelligent enough to realize that he just insinuated that black people, had they been on the jury, would have ignored the evidence and behaved differently than all of the other jurors representing multiple races, directly implying that black people are somehow uniquely immoral and uniquely unjust in a way that other races aren't. Nice message, oh inclusive one.